So everybody, welcome to today's interview series where we have one of my dear clients and a friend, and she's one of the top video marketers in Singapore, right? So I'm very excited to have her come on, not just to share from the video marketing point of view, but also a story about how she broke out from being a 9 to 5, right, to doing what she's doing right now, making money, and enjoying her life. So with that, welcome Jocelyn to this interview.
Hello. Hi, Mark.
All right, so yeah, we started just by sharing a little bit about yourself, right, your story, what you do, right, before we get to the rest of the interview.
Myself. Okay, so currently I'm a video growth coach. That has been my focus for the past 18 months. When I left corporate, the video journey started with more of focusing on live streaming, helping local companies, brands to do high quality live stream that is not seen as cheap in terms of their positioning. And then eventually we progressed into more of like strategic video production for marketing purpose, brand stories, YouTube ads, Facebook ads, that kind. And then as TikTok started to grow and variety of content starts to appear on TikTok, I decided that, hey, I actually prefer helping people to be able to do it themselves than to always just do it for them, like previously for my clients. So I pivoted, right, to do more of like educating, enabling so that people can pick it up for themselves. And I think it's really the best era for anyone now to start video marketing because it's much easier. Audience expectations are much lower, right? It's really more about the substance of the content rather than the quality of the production. Yeah. So it's actually, I feel it's the easiest era lah. So I want to be able to enable people who wants to leverage on it to grow their business.
Yeah, sounds good. And so do you think that drive, right, to help people with video marketing just came naturally like that? Or was it because of some of the experiences you have went through over the years that have you to like, hey, right now I do want to help people. I do see the value. Like, was it all the way since that you were 9 to 5, you really wanted that goal, or is something you do over time as you embark on the entrepreneurship journey?
It was not all the while when I was employed. I'm not like anyone from a media background where I had a dream to set up production company. That is not how it was for me. In fact, it was my last job lah. The exposure that I got from my last job that got me seeing how in China people do their content marketing, their live stream, their video. I think I was very lucky in the aspect that I got to manage our project with Alibaba. So that got me to see a lot from how they are doing so well in terms of content marketing, in their content strategy, right? To really engage consumers to buy from them. Yeah. So and then that journey got me to start being very interested, right, in how all these strategies are being carried out, the kind of business mindset that they have as well. Yeah. And then so when due to some work changes, right, when work life started to get boring, then it started to make me wonder what's next for myself. So in that journey, it was really a discovery journey of what else I can do with my life other than my work. Right. Before that, it's really just doing my best at work because I love it so much what I did. But it came to a point that, hey, whatever I love was being taken away.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, change of projects. So I'm like, hey, it's boring, man. It feels like year one in the company. It's not fun anymore. And then so I started exploring like, and then I was thinking, should I look for other jobs? Should I go back to my previous line of retail management? And then in that process of trying to look for another job, I realized that it doesn't excite me. Like, it's just doing for the sake of doing, right? For the sake of the income. So I started to explore more, looking more online, more purposefully online on what other interests I could build, what other skills I could build that I could monetize. Yeah, the first thing that I started learning did not turn out how I expected it to be, which was hand lettering and digital hand lettering. I don't really have a lot of flair lah, I realized. I thought I can learn it, but then, yeah, it sort of evolved into video content because a lot of people in the creative line back then are actually already using videos to promote themselves on social media. Yeah. So I started exploring video making. So one field interest, but sort of segue into the other interest.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I recall actually more than 15 years ago, I actually did a very simple video montage for my previous job as well. Yeah. So yeah, I wasn't really exactly, totally new to it, but I never explored the other sides of it. Like doing a video montage is a bit like a slideshow, so it's quite different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess a quick question was like, before we go on to some of the things you did, obviously, like, were there some fears or concerns about quitting your job to do something? Because I know that your driving force was fun, right? It was exciting for you, but was there any part of like, if this doesn't work, right, what will happen? Like, just want to share like maybe some of your perspective from that period of time as you transition. Was there any fears, concerns, and how maybe you were able to overcome it or address it during that period of time?
Initially, when I learned it, I have a very clear intent that it should ideally put me in a monetization position lah, right? So it's well, I mean, the initial very lofty goal was to become a YouTuber, but somehow it evolved into when I started doing food videos of my mom cooking, and then opportunities came in where people asked me, "Hey, do you want to do a zi cha marketing video?"
Oh wow.
Yeah. And then just nice, I had upgraded my equipment from handphone to camera.
Yeah.
And then just nice, okay, the money came in, it pays for the camera. So so I mean slowly I start to see that there is really monetization. And it didn't quite appear in the way that I expected, like becoming a successful YouTuber yet, right? But it came in other ways. But it's the same because the same skill set, it already tells you that that skill set can be monetized. There is a market for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And something like as in we talked about it previously, right? You must mind where even at the beginning, right? I know you started a few months after you started entrepreneurial journey, right? There was COVID, right? And stuff. There was a lot of ups and downs, but you were able to consistently get like partnerships, clients, customers through your journey. Can you share a little bit about how were you able to get that first wave of customer and clients when you're new to the business journey? Even during such an uncertain time like COVID and that lockdown period.
Okay, it goes back a little to the moment that I had the intention of wanting to leave corporate life, right? I started looking at my private time very differently. Yeah. So on hindsight now it became like it's not about what you do in the 9 to 5, it's what you do in the 5 to 9 and then on the weekends. Yeah. So I started become like more actively participating in a lot of like different events or activities outside of work. So I got to network with people. I went to attend a workshop about personal branding. That's when I know what personal branding is about. And then I joined a radio singing competition. So I have to bring that up because that is what brought me my viral music video. Yeah, because of that competition, I got to know my band, and then we are all hobbies. Then we are like thinking, how will people know about us or give us gigs? And I was very into live streaming already at that time. I was already picking up all the tech skills, how to produce a live stream. So I told my band, okay lah, we go Facebook Live and sing oh. If nobody knows us, that's it lah. Because nobody else was doing free performance online last time. That was pre-COVID. All the paid musicians and singers are doing their paid gigs in the bar, in the pubs and all that. So we were literally, I would think we are like the first band in Singapore to do Facebook Live, like free. Yeah. And then from there, then yeah, it got into me getting inspired to do a medley of music video. That's when the production went viral. And along the way, I also, because through all these activities and networking, I got to know other business owners.
Yeah.
So in a way, I think I was surrounded by the right people because you start to meet a lot of self-employed people. And I got to ask questions. I have my concerns about, technically, if I didn't have a mortgage, I think I would feel less burdened to leave my job. But then one of my friend who's actually a CEO of an online education company, right? He told me, no, you don't think of it as a burden. You should think of it as a forced savings. It's actually your safety net, the mortgage that you're paying. So, that sort of changed my perspective on how I look at my finances. Yeah, and then I got to learn a lot from other people's experience of when they left corporate life to become self-employed, to become entrepreneurs as well. Yeah. So in that sense, I think putting yourself in the right space and getting to into a right community, or people who have gone through it, been through it, to talk to, right, definitely helps. Because imagine if I didn't step out, right, and then I'm still surrounded by my colleagues, everybody will be telling me, you are siao, why would you want to quit? Because different perspective ma.
Yeah.
Everyone has their truth.
Yeah, I think the one, but obviously, right, it's who you hang out with, right, that give you, and you were able to ask questions, reach out, right? But I think it's the willingness and the energy to put yourself in those situations, testing out things one thing at a time, from Facebook Live, right, to Medley, to meeting people, attending workshops that got you to where you are today.
Yeah.
And I think one thing you share very quickly, right, which is how do you approach these relationships as you went on, right? And how did it help you with your business in clients partnership? I thought that was pretty inspirational, right? Hearing your story about how you connected all these people that became your eventual customers, clients, and partners. Yeah.
So my first live stream client is one of my bandmates, in fact, because he also runs a business. He also left corporate life. So they keep hearing me talking about live stream, see how I produce the show for the band. And he was convinced. Because before that, he was very resistant. It's like, yeah, all the other people doing shopping on live stream is like so cheapo and everything. But my style of live stream is you own your own talk show. It's like having your own TV program lah. You control whatever you want in it. Just because everyone else is doing their selling, direct selling, right, doesn't mean you have to follow that. There's more than one way of using the medium. Yeah. So in the end, he's my first live stream client engagement. We produce a monthly episode. I was still employed at that time. When I produced music, the viral music video, I was also employed. I was still employed. So I guess when I just felt like it had to be done, being employed didn't stop me lah. I just manage and make sure I don't openly step on any conflict of interest.
Yeah.
So in a way, yeah, it's a secret project lah, because I'm not in front of the camera when I'm produced the live stream, right? So of course, technically, nobody will know I'm doing it. Yeah. So actually, I started doing and getting paid jobs even while I was still employed. Yeah. So from that, I know that I have, whatever skills I have at that time has market demand, has market need. And then of course I did my planning. I did my forecasting. Again, network a lot more. Yeah. In fact, some of the people I network with are people that I know from my previous job lah, because I used to bring people on study trips, right? So a lot of them are SME owners.
Okay.
Yeah. So number of them have become like friends.
Yeah.
And we are connected on social media, and they see the things that I've been doing. So naturally they start, coming to me even when they have questions and all that. And that's how the conversation gets started as well.
Nice. Yeah. So I think it's number one is put yourself more seriously, talk to more people, connect with them. But this the power of content, right? The more content you post, right, eventually people will start seeing you as potentially the expert, or at least someone to look up to ask for questions and help. And then that's how you get that first bunch of customers.
Yeah. I think it's two things like offline networking and online networking.
Mixing both and integrating both together, right? Either or. Yeah. So I guess maybe next question before I move on to the video, the more specific areas side. What do you think was some of the biggest challenges you experienced when you started out your entrepreneurship journey, and how were you able to address and overcome them? Just generally, some of your biggest challenges or struggles when you first came out. Because I'm sure like a lot of people will talk about the beauty of entrepreneurship and stuff, but not really the challenges and struggles, right? So maybe a little bit of what was yours, and how were you able to address them for yourself?
I think the first challenge was about, of course, asking myself, when is the cutoff point? Because you have to end the relationship, right? And then to start properly, right? So it comes to a point that I tell myself, I need to give myself a timeline. If not, it will never happen.
Mm, mm,
Yeah, so I just give a very specific goal. Okay, if I hit 30K, because I calculated my safety net, I
yeah.
hit 30K savings, I will tender my resignation. Yeah, plus knowing that I have a 3-month notice period to serve.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also very clearly knowing that all the bonus incentive systems are in place, right, to keep you there such that you never resign if you are tempted by the money.
Yeah.
So if you set a very clear goal to tell yourself, hey, this is it, then that's where you have to make a very clear cut lah on
Yeah.
things, right, to properly transition into the next step.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's one lah. Like, I mean, for different people, it could be different goals. Mine was the financial safety net because I have a mortgage. I need to assure my parents.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Communicating with the family is also, I think the other part that kept me awake at night for a period of time.
Mm, mm,
Yeah, yeah. So to me, securing the financial part is one big element of helping the family to feel more safe and assured also lah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the first challenge. I think I hit the other big challenge in my, let me think, 2020, third year of business.
Okay. Mm,
So in my second year of business, I managed to hit 6-figure revenue.
mm.
Um, and then in third year, somehow I got burnt out. I guess because I was like so busy,
So,
yeah. So I think that challenge then was, I also did not expect to hit burnout so soon lah.
mm, mm.
And it took me like a few months to realize, hey, this is burnout.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think luckily because I also attended programs before about self-awareness,
Mm,
right? So I'm quite aware that at some point that I wasn't quite being myself.
ah, ah,
Yeah, I wasn't doing, like, my thoughts were not serving me,
mm.
right? Like negative thoughts, when people, when people refer clients to me, I start to be, instead of grateful and appreciative and happy, right? I feel negative about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So then I know, that's a bit weird lah, right? But then I know that it's not because that I didn't like what I'm doing.
Mm.
Yeah. So it could be, maybe the chiong too much lah, maybe in the second year.
Don't
Right.
rest and touch and stuff sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. And then maybe, doing a lot of things because it was still like a bit of COVID. And then I did a lot like I did virtual events. I produced like, I think in the first 2 years, I produced like 4 virtual events.
Wow.
Yeah, which brought me like 4-figure, 5-figure kind of income. Yeah. I produced a very one of a kind roaming live stream,
Mm,
which a startup engaged us to do. So it was like really a lot of work. But I mean, right now on hindsight, it was a very good journey for me to, like, I think, fully experience doing production for clients.
mm, mm.
Yeah. Which is what brought me to the next decision of the pivot, right? Which is I do not want to keep doing production
Yeah. Yeah.
because it is a very, very active form of income,
Yeah.
which needs me to always be present at the shoot. So therefore I will be stuck in Singapore, etc. Yeah. So um I think at every step, I think for me the main learning journey is you sort of have to know that at every step you just solve the problem that's in front of you first, instead of thinking so far ahead.
Yeah.
So like even when I want to quit, right, okay, I give myself a very simple goal now, 30K. Either
Mm.
I save, it's two, you either save up or you go and bring in more money. So I mean I did both lah. I stopped buying my, the usual girl stuff.
Yeah.
Clothes, shoes, bags. I really stopped buying, like technically I know I have more than enough.
Yeah.
Whatever spending I did was on only things related to what I do, which is like equipment.
Mm, mm.
Yeah, things that could help to bring in income.
Yeah.
And also investing in some coaching programs. Yeah,
Yeah.
some learning as well. So
Yeah. I
mm,
mean, what I'm hearing is basically
mm,
it's a step-by-step thing, right? Which is don't expect to solve every problem from the beginning, right? If
mm,
problem, look to solve it, set the intention, right? You know, you need to sacrifice some stuff, and then just do it over and over again to get to where you are, right? It's just a game of solving problems, right? And I think that's something you have done very well to be where you're at. So yeah, I guess shifting on right to the next phase of this interview, which is today's video marketing content world, right? Which is your A game, huh? So maybe I give a quick overview about what do you think are some of the trends you see in this whole like video content game right now, and maybe the biggest mistakes or misconceptions you think people might have when it comes to video marketing, video content in today's world.
Okay, part one first. The trend is use AI but not rely on AI. Yeah, I think right now I still don't see a very good tool that can use AI to make authentic video content from end to end.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, you definitely you can use AI to help you in your scripting. But AI cannot help you to identify your personal brand. You have to do that yourself. Right? And then you need to feed AI the information about your personal brand. Then yes, then they can help you in the other steps. Right? Maybe crafting content and scripts. But if you have no clarity on your own personal branding, like what values you stand for, what you want to advocate in your area of expertise. Like for me right now, it's about, hey, you should DIY, right? That's the key value that I'm advocating. Yeah. So that's something I have to decide for myself.
Yeah.
Right. And then that will guide the kind of content that I put out. What I write about on Facebook, what I want to do in my videos. And then of course the other big trend is of course short videos.
Yeah, but I think it'll be very interesting to talk about AI, right? So do you don't want to rely much on AI because the quality is not there, or do you think it's more of an authenticity issue, right? Like what's the reason why you might not want to rely too much on AI in today's world currently? Is it more the quality or the authenticity portion?
My stand on content right now is it should still be authentic. Yeah. So AI can help you to better craft your message. For sure. Yeah. But if you were to put yourself on camera, I feel that is the most authentic way that someone can experience you. Right. I know, yes, there is technology that allows you to feed your own data into AI, and then they can also talk the words out in your voice when you throw in a script. I know it exists, right? Let's not pretend it doesn't exist. But it's not that good to the point that people can't tell it's an AI lah. Until it reaches that point, then we see how. But I think for now, what TikTok has brought to us is another part, doing content on the fly. Right? If you're a real estate agent, you just minutes before you have a viewing, you are in the vicinity of the area, and then you just whip out your phone and you share something in your video, and then you just post it. Right? There is a possibility that that video goes viral. Because people like what you shared. They feel that, hey, it's true. It's something true that a lot of people dare not to talk about. It is something true that they have never seen it that way. Right? So it brought value to them. So I think the ability to express yourself as and when is getting more and more important. Yeah, the more I coach people, the more I realize that video is purely just a medium for you to express your value and your values to other people. Yeah, like your values as a person and the value that you bring to other people. So if you cannot express yourself, then how do you convince anyone to engage you? Yeah, so I feel, I guess maybe for some people it comes more naturally. For some people, it's a muscle that they need to work on. Yeah, but I believe that anyone can do it. It's just a matter of, it might be a bit naturally more easier for some, and a little bit more intentional learning for the rest. Yeah.
So AI, right? Authenticity for sure, right? Expressing yourself, right? Doesn't have to be very well polished videos all the time, right? Just using authenticity and just being on the spot. Any other like potential trends or misconceptions that you might see for the space right now?
Misconception. I think there's one that people are always stuck with is about good enough or perfect enough before I can put it out there. Yeah. But the reality is that nobody gets good enough or perfect enough overnight, ma.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it doesn't mean that you need a perfect piece of work to bring in clients. It doesn't mean that you need a perfect piece of content to get people interested in you or for people to like you as a person. Yeah. And it's also very important, I think, to know who to compare yourself to. Yes. I
Yeah.
think it's easy to fall into the state of looking at someone who has already done it, right?
Yeah.
Like right now, you go and look at like top YouTubers, like maybe Sean Cannell from Think Media. Right. But if you dig into his history, he has been doing this for like more than 10 years,
Yeah.
Right. And then you want to compare, like, hey, why I'm not like that? I already did 10 videos. Hello, people did like 500 videos.
Yeah. Volume,
You
yeah.
did like 10 videos. Why you want to compare? Right. And then they also started in a very simple way. They started in a not very polished way, not very perfect way as well. So you have to accept that it's a journey lah. It's progress over perfection, I feel. You just need to tell yourself, is my next piece better than the previous? Yeah. So even like my mentees, some of their content, the most, those that they didn't spend the most effort on actually did better.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not always, your effort doesn't equate
Wow.
any so-called success that you get out of it.
Yeah, so I mean, with that, going on my next question, one of my favorite, right? So then, what are some of the traits you see between your most like successful clients, right, or mentees, those that get faster, bigger level of results versus those that might attend the same program or receive the same information from you, but they might not be as fast in terms of results or progress as they would like, or they are still stuck. Like, what do you think are some of the differences in maybe the traits, strategies, mindsets that you can see clearly based on experience so far?
I think the top one is being willing to step out of comfort zone. Because obviously, if you seek help and you pay someone for help, right, is to do something differently, right? But if you still want to stay in your comfort zone, then what is the point of being on a program that is supposed to help you progress with a new way or a new method, or a new way of thinking, right? So everything is always a new muscle to grow. But right, you work out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody knows that if they work out, it's good for their health, what? But then there'll be people who are willing to pay a PT, and then they will be telling the PT, please torture me, I want the results. And then there'll be the people who are like, I cannot. Right. They appear, they come for the session, but then every little thing they say, too heavy. I cannot. Right. So you are present, but then you are not willing to take some calculated risk, I would say. Yeah. My most successful mentee, I feel, she was very willing to be vulnerable.
Okay.
The moment she decided to be on my program, I think she put a lot of faith in me and the journey that I'm going to put her on as well. So number one, she trusted the journey. Number two, she was very willing to step out of certain comfort zone. Right. Why her content worked so well? Because she got very good at telling stories. She got very good at expressing her emotions, which she had not been doing previously. So she started telling stories, right? Building emotional connections with people, to let them know what was behind what she's doing, rather than just being, what people see on the surface, like a financial advisor lah. Yeah. And she knows that, yes, online some people will say not very pleasant things. Right. But sometimes we talk about it. So that's one, being willing to step out of the comfort zone to do what you could not do or did not do previously, right? Because you already paid someone to help you on that. That's one. The other one is to not be afraid to ask questions. I think I realize sometimes people on a program, they tend to, even though they already paid for your help, right? They still keep to themselves.
Yeah.
But that's actually it's not very logical if you think about it. Yeah. So I will remind them, you need to get yourself unstuck, and you already paid for someone. So that's the person you should be asking to get yourself unstuck.
Mm.
Yeah. But I think it's quite common. People tend to fall into the state of, hey, I can try and figure it out myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it will come to a point that actually, if you pick up and you work on that muscle, right, you will be able to figure out on yourself. But when you are newer, right, you might not be at that level yet to figure it out by yourself. So like my most successful mentee, right, after a few months, I realized that her messages to me dropped,
Okay.
reduced. Then I asked her, hey, are you okay? How's everything? She said, oh yeah, I'm okay. Just that now, before I send you, I asked myself, what will Jocelyn ask me?
Wow.
So she's like able to self-coach herself already to a certain extent. And then beyond that level, if she's still stuck, yes, then she will reach out to me again.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you at the beginning you keep thinking, I can figure it out myself, then actually it doesn't help because it's a new muscle, ma.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? In the beginning, your PT will still hold the weights for you a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then over time they know, hey, you can do it already.
So, on one hand is yes, you ask questions, but on the other hand, it's also come point where you internalize some of what you learn from the mentor, the coach, that you also upgrade yourself as well, so that you can ask even more strategic, high level questions in long term. So I think that's a very powerful tip for a lot of people also.
Yeah. So asking, I think maybe it could be our education system lah. We are very used to like having theory, then
Yeah.
do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why not you do and come up with your own theories?
Yeah. Yeah.
You learn from other people's theories first, you do something, and then along the way you will bump into a lot of like roadblocks and obstacles. Then when you start solving them, that's when you start coming up with your own theories.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if you ask me 4 years ago, do I have my own framework? I don't. I might not have a very clear or very interesting framework to share with people. Yeah, but now over time, as things have evolved, plus accumulation of all my experiences, right?
Yeah.
Then I realized, hey, okay, I now have this framework that I know works. And then I use it to guide people to get started. Along the way, I always tell them the frameworks is just to get you started.
Yeah.
Once you are more familiar, then you start playing your own game already.
Yeah. You can turn
But
yourself.
yeah, correct. But you need your basics first. Yeah.
So I think with that, right, talking about your updated theories, because obviously your frameworks theory is going to be stronger than a lot of people out there in terms of experience. So what do you think? What are some of the best maybe tips for people who are starting out? Besides starting, right? So let's say just now I'm ready to get started. What are some tips, right, or maybe a framework, right, that can help or share with people to hopefully get their journey started, right, in a more effective and maybe in a more effective manner?
You get started on video marketing.
Yeah, right. Using content, right, to promote their own business, their side hustles. Yeah, what are some things you can do right, these are some things you can follow to make it more effective from the very beginning.
I think maybe one easy tip is, let me think. Must be
follow.
must be easy. Okay, I will share this basic framework that I have because it's only 3 steps.
Yeah.
So I succinct everything into these 3 steps. It's called the 3C framework. So when you want to create a piece of content or video, just think of this 3C. Number 1, context. You need to start off with a context for your audience first. So typically, we also call this the hook. Yeah, but I call it the context because you are setting the stage for people to decide, are they going to continue reading or watching this piece of content? Yeah, so I call it the context. Yeah. Sometimes when we say hook, I realize people start to overthink about what fanciful things they want to say in the hook. But basically, at the end of it, to me, it's just setting context for your reader or your audience.
So they know what
so they know what's going to come next. Of course, within this context, you can consider what emotion you want to trigger in this context. Curiosity is one of the easiest ones, right? You can easily just create the context with a question. Yeah, you can also create controversy. Yeah, but that's also context. Like you are making people a bit riled up in terms of their emotions. Yeah. And then of course other emotions that we talk about is fear and desire. But all this is just in a way creating the context, setting the stage for what's going to come next. Yeah. So what's going to come next is I call it the connect section, CONNECT. This is where you add value to people with your key learnings, right? Things that you want the main body of your content. Right. But I call it the connect section because that's where you give your value, you give your thoughts, you give your perspective to people. Yeah. And then when all this whole chunk, this whole section is over, the last part will be the very simple C of call to action. Like, what do you want people to do next after reading or consuming your video? What do you want people to do next? The call to action. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So at the start, I keep it a very simple. Of course, there's deeper exercises that we do for the other 3C, but you can just think of it in these 3 parts first, like when you want to do a piece of content.
Yeah, good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think good diverse is like, it's just an easy way to get started, right? Like you say, of course, you can go deeper as you go along. But I like the fact that instead of just trying to hook people in all the time, sometimes just about setting a context, right? And then whether is it through, like I said, something controversy or curious, right? And then after that, actually sharing the value, whether it's through a story or the lessons or the insights, and then of course with the call to action, which a lot of people tend to forget. I realized in their video marketing journey, myself included. So yeah, I think maybe with that, probably our last question, which is, what are some of the biggest tips, besides what you mentioned, right? You will give to people that want to level up. I think one thing you mentioned earlier is storytelling, right? Which I think is very powerful in today's world. So what do you think are some tips you would give for people to maybe level up how they share stories, how they speak stories that is hopefully engaging, captivating, and interesting at the same time? Like, what would be some of the biggest tips? And to me, I think this is more of a lifetime skill, right? Not just video, but for other ways of life as well. So yeah, what are your thoughts? I know you're a masterful storyteller where even you help your mom generate multiple 5 to 6 figure views, right? So that's great. So yeah, we'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Actually, yeah, in my coaching journey with my clients, I realized that a lot of people get stuck when you tell stories. They're like, huh? What? Tell what stories? Or some people are a little bit more left brain. They like to talk about very factual things. And then when I tell them, hey, you need to add story, they are like stuck. They are like, how do I tell this through a story, right? So I have, and again, I have another 2 things. Number 1, actually stories are everywhere all the time, but we just don't realize or we forget about it. So one exercise that I get my coaches now to do is to create story bank. Yeah, the fact is that we always think that we will remember something, but actually we don't. Yeah, I have these notes in my phone that anything random pops up in my head, any line that I think is brilliant that suddenly pops up in my head. Okay, never mind. I'll just type it down in my notes because I know I will forget one day. Yeah, that's one. So create a story bank. Any interesting things that happens that triggers some thoughts in you at the moment, but you're not going to write a post there and then, right? Then you have to jot it down somewhere. Yeah, that's one. So what I'm making my group coaches do now is they need to start creating their story bank. Yeah. Secondly is, again, I have this framework to help people who are stuck at doing storytelling. Yeah, it's called Pretty.
Okay, nice.
PRETTY. First time I'm saying this publicly.
Oh.
Before this is exclusive to my group coaches. Yeah. So PRE, very easy. P stand for person. R stand for relationship. E stand for event. As long as you have any one of these 3 elements, it constitutes that a story is coming already. When you mention another person, or this person is of a relationship with you, like my friend, my mother, my father. The moment you mention another person, or it's a relationship title, people instinctively people know, hey, a story is coming. Yeah, right. So PRE. And then how to make it even better, right? How to make your story even better? There are 2 T's. Number 1 is the twist. If you have a twist, that will make it an even more interesting story. If you have a transformation, that also makes it a much more interesting story, much more compelling story. And then the why is you have to end off with why you are telling this story.
Oh,
What's the point, right? What's the conclusion? What was the learning? What was the purpose, right? So the why. So PRETTY, pretty.
framework, yeah. Yeah, so you just start off with either a person, a relationship, or
Or an
event,
event.
right? And
Yeah.
then make sure there's some form of transformation,
And
right?
twist or twist.
Two is trying to make it more exciting, and then like, wow, yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah, I think I can use it on my own as well. Okay, so I mean, with that, right, the great Jocelyn. So, with that, I know we only covered like probably the surface, right, of some of the genius of your mind, right, in terms of video marketing creativity. But so, where can people find you, right? They find out more about what you do, find out more about video marketing from you. Where can they check you out, right? Share a little bit of that.
Actually, the best way is to add me on social media, which is especially my Facebook. I share a lot of my text content over there. They can also add me on TikTok, so we can leave the links in the video below, right?
Yeah.
Can also add me on TikTok, where I share more lifestyle content. My TikTok account is more of a portfolio of a variety of videos that my learners and my coaches can refer to. Yeah, so I'm not at that stage that I'm trying to make myself viral, but I know how to get good amount of views through all the experimenting that I have done on my account. But end of the day, it is also, I think, one misconception again that I missed out just now. You don't need virality to get results for your video, for your business. Yeah. Virality helps to grow awareness, right? More people know about you. It gives an added credibility.
Yeah.
But if you don't get viral views, right, it doesn't discredit you for your expertise. Yeah. So like my highest views for my own account is 5 figures. Right. The people who are stuck at 3 figures, to them, that's their goal. Yeah. So to them, that's good enough. I didn't need to be like a viral TikToker to train them or to help them on their journey.
Yeah.
In fact, the viral TikTokers might not know how to train people.
Yeah.
They just know how to do it themselves. Yeah. Secondly, through my coaches' results and my own results, you don't need virality to get business leads. Yeah, correct. And don't think of every video as an individual result within a limited period of time. For example, you post this video up and then you look at it, oh, this 1 month, 2 months, nothing happens. No leads came in. But what's happening now on the platforms is on an evergreen kind of basis. Yeah. Your videos, as long as you put it up there, think of it as a database that will be working for you 24/7. Yeah, it's a database of content and value that you put out there that will be working for you 24/7. Like you're on holiday, maybe someone sees your video and then they drop you a message, which is what happened for my coachee . Yeah, so when she was doing her videos, she was just happy to be able to express herself and her thoughts. And then when she was on holiday, a few DMs came in inquiring for her services. Then she realized this is damn good. This is working for me 24/7. It's like passive inbound leads. It's not income per se, but it's passive inbound leads. Yeah, and not all of the inquiry came in through the viral pieces of content. So people saw you maybe through one viral content, and they feel that, this person is quite interesting. They come into your profile and they start looking at what else you have been posting. So every little piece of content that you put out there adds up to what you stand for as a person, what you stand for in your expertise.
Nice. Yeah. And so I guess what I'm hearing, right, is Jocelyn, right, might not get you viral, but she's going to help you optimize to get for buyers, right? Customers, clients.
Yes. Our main aim is position yourself in the right way so that you attract in the right customers. It's not about becoming like a TikToker. Of course, if that happens, that's a bonus.
Yeah. With that, right, thanks again for the interview. So again, guys, today is just a very sneak preview, right, of some of what Jocelyn has shared, right, in terms of video marketing expertise. So everyone, do check her out, right, through her profile. We'll put the links there. And with that, thanks again, Jocelyn, for the interview, and we'll see all of you, all right, everyone else very soon. Right, bye guys, and thanks, Jocelyn.
Bye.